This is my 2013 Chevy Express van. This van has hardly any miles on it. It takes me where I got to go. But you don't know how many people have asked me about this very van. So many people want this van. I know they're using these very vans right here to create homes and to make them into RVs and that type of thing. But this vehicle, I was even out and about and somebody asked me, would I be willing to sell my van? At this time, this is the only vehicle that I have until I pick me up a car. But I wanted you to see this van and how much room this van has in it. Let's open the side door of this van. Now the side door is open. This is a side door, as you can see. Let me back up. This is a side door. And when you walk up to the side door, this van has plenty of room in it. I mean, plenty of room in it to be able to be converted into a mini home that somebody could sleep in. Now, as we open the back doors of this van, you see how much space is in this van. This van is really a nice van. It only has, I think it has maybe like 60,000 miles on it or so. So it really is in great condition. And so I do have to turn this van into a tiny home to live off the road or go off the road or whatever. There's so many things that I can do with this van, starting with insulating it and getting it ready to be able to stay in it if I have to go off road or if I want to travel. I can set it up so that me and my son would be comfortable in this van. Now, as I climb up into the inside of this van, you'll see that it has a roll cage already in back of here. This van, I used to use this van to do storage units and to haul stuff in. So I had this roll cage here put in behind the seats. So I think that's a good safety feature to have when you have things back there. There's a door right here. This door, I can open that door and I can also go to the back of the van from that exit right there. And then when you look at the front of the van, you got your I call it the co-pilot seat over there. And then the van is just your regular van on the inside. Everything looks the same. Everything looks the same. Now let's talk about van life. I have thought about doing van life at one time in my life, but with a child, I don't think that's something I'd want to do full time. But sometimes when I want to travel, I do want to get in my very van here, this very same van, and I want to be able to go places without the expenses of high hotel bills and not knowing where I'm going to stay or who I'm going to stay with, or the safety of getting out of the vehicle when you even have to go to the bathroom and that type of thing. Because I can put an onboard porta potty in this van and me and my son would be able to be okay on the road, because nowadays you can't be too careful where you get out at even to use the bathroom. So as I think about doing van life, I think about how much fun it will be sometimes to be able to be on the road and be able to be okay as far as accommodations of where you're going to sleep and all of that matter. And I have ordered some few things, like I'm trying to get mini refrigerator, and I got my mini EcoFlow 2 power station to take with me, and I plan to get a couple more power stations as well. But when I think about van life in my 2013 Chevy Express van, I think it'd be a good thing to start setting it up and getting it ready for the road, so that when I do want to get out on the road, and if I do feel as though I need to stop someplace, I don't want that $200 hotel bill eating up my money while I'm out on the road. So when people come and ask me, do I want to sell my van? Of course, my answer is no, because I see a lot of value in keeping this van. This van is not giving me any problems whatsoever. And like I said, it doesn't have, let me turn the key ignition on to see exactly how many miles it does have on it. Exactly 60,258. It has its regular oil changes. I keep it maintenance very well. And I really believe that I would be able to get in this van and go anywhere and be able to stay as long as I want to and enjoy myself and be able to sleep and find a safe place to park and sleep and be able to get up and go and be able to move on down the road. So I really believe that there is its pros and cons in doing van life. I just have never did van life, but it's not nothing that I'm opposed to because I do have a vehicle to go, and because I already live off grid, it's almost like, far as camping, I used to love to go camping, but now I feel like I live on my own campground. That's the beautiful part about having your own ground off grid. You're always camping. You can start your fire whenever you get ready. And when I think about van life, it's like it actually gives you that freedom to get in your van and be able to go and travel and be able to sleep in your van and be able to continue on down the road wherever you got to go without no problem. So that's my big spiel on van life. And I understand why people are going to van life at this time because of the high cost of mortgages and rents, and because of the high cost of living and what it costs to pay all these bills, especially when you're single and you're paying them all by yourself. It becomes a lot. It can really truly become a lot after a while, and it becomes to weigh you down, and it seems like you're only working to pay bills, and that's not no fun either. So you want to have some type of enjoyment out of your life, and the only way you're going to get that is you got to create it. You got to create it. And I see the people that are out there. I know that van life is not all, everything is all good the way they try to make it seem sometime on YouTube and different places of that nature, but there are some on there that do tell you the truth and tell you the pros and cons about what it is to be living in your van or to be living off grid or things of that nature. Well, I am all for living off grid. I enjoy living off grid. I enjoy having my own land. I enjoy the freedom that you have without having nobody telling you what to do on your property, and that you can do what you want to do. And then if you want to get in your van and go do van life for a while, then come on back home. I mean, it's just a win-win for me. It's a win-win for me to think about that I'm in a position to be able to do that right now, for this time in my life. So there will be times that I will be getting ideas of what I need to do to prepare this van to be able to get it out on the road. How do I insulate it? I've never did any of this, so I'll be watching videos of how to do that. How do I insulate the van? Where do I begin? What do I need to put on the floor of the van? What do I want the van to look like? How do I put up sleeping quarters in the van? How am I going to cook in the van? How am I going to, what kind of refrigerator do I need to get on Amazon and buy? What refrigerator is going to plug in good to my power station and things of that nature. It's a lot when you're trying to learn these things on your own and you never did it before, but yet I truly am up for the challenge. But as far as insulation needs to be done with the van first, because with no insulation in this van gets blown all across the road because it's just tin. It's just tin, and it needs to be done up right so that with insulation is not going to cause me and my son no allergy problems as we're going down the road. So I would like to have some ideas and some input. If you've already did van life, or if you've remodeled the van, or if you've taken the time to build your van up to the point where now you have it livable and you're ready to go with it, that would be something so nice for me to see. I'm online all the time looking at them. Please give me some feedback. I will follow if you follow me on here, so that I can get some input about what van life looks like, what it looks like to remodel your van. And yeah, I think that would be so much fun. And at least I'm going to be looking for ideas of what insulation to get to put in here. I think I can do that part myself, the insulation. I know how to make a template to cut around things, so I'm very handy in certain aspects, and in certain things where it comes to using power tools and power saws and things of that nature. I'm not that mechanically inclined where those things are needed in any situation of a DIY. But as far as to do insulation and things that I can do with spray adhesive, and may spray something on the ceiling, or may spray something around to stick the insulation in, or things of that nature, I can do all of that. And then to figure out how to build the bed back there so that I can have a place to lay down and sleep. If my son needs a place to sleep, we need some sleeping quarters back there, a place to, with such a little space, a lot can be done, because I've seen smaller spaces done up very well. So I know in these vans, I've seen them done up almost like a full house. Yeah, so that would be nice. That's a nice thought. I wish that I knew someone that was um, able to help me remodel the van and remodel it in a way that, you know, it really looks good and I would be proud of it and that it would be functional and that, you know, I could really truly enjoy my time in the van while I'm going down the road without using so much heavy material where, you know, it would make the van overweight, that type of thing, to put too much pressure on the van too. So it's a thought and I'm thinking about it. I'm really thinking about starting to add some things little by little until I get it to a place where it would be good enough for me to take out on the road. Far as sleeping in it and far as staying in it, I can go anywhere and come back home because it only got 2 seats in it. So these 2 seats are comfortable, but they're not comfortable to sit straight up and sleep. Because I put this roll cage back here, that really takes up a lot of the room where I can't lay my seat back and recline it like I would normally do. So I have to sit straight up, and whoever's on the passenger side also have to sit straight up. So many people have looked at me in this van when they see me riding down the road. They'll say, is that a, what they say, is that a, what they call it, they think I'm holding prisoners around in it, a prison van. They asked me, do I work for the prison? I said, no, I do not work for the prison, nor have I ever worked for the prison. I've used this van to work to haul storage units, hard stuff from yard sale, to help move people, to do that kind of stuff. And I also have my own trailer. So when I hook up, I don't want whatever cargo I got loaded back there in the back, I do not want it falling on my head. So that's why I invested in having that put on there. At the same time, I had the roll cage put on there, and I had them weld the hitch on the back of it at the same time. And at that time, that was a good thing for me. So it's like right now, since I'm not using it to haul and everything, I still don't think I want to take the roll cage out or take it down or any of that nature, unless I was about to put some seats in it. And I don't want to put no seats in it because I think having the seats out of it and turning it into a tiny home on the road and during van life, if I was going to go out on the road with van life, I think it would be something that I would really enjoy. And leaving the roll cage in it, I think would make good sense. I think it would make good sense because it's like having an extra room. I can always climb through this door to go back there. So therefore, I decided to turn this into our sleeping quarters back there. I still want to make it so I can access this door to go back there. Yeah. And then I can put curtains up and things of that nature, you know, wherever I park and wherever I'm getting ready to go to sleep or whatever, I can always put curtains up or whatever. And then it would teach me a lot about how to live the more minimum lifestyle on the road, because I know how to live minimal for sure, because I've been homeless for 5 years before that. So before I even got a home. So therefore, now that I've got this home, it's almost like saying it's really nice. But the one thing about having a home opposed to doing van life, in your home, you actually stuck there. Tell you the truth, you actually, I don't want to say really stuck there, but it's more or less like, you know, you go, but you got to come back to it. Put it that way. Because with van life, you just go. And I do want to come back home. I do want to have a home still to come home to. I don't know if I'm ready to do van life full time. Like I said, because I have a child and my child is disabled. He has autism and a lot of medically fragile. So I don't want to be on the road all the time because I would not be able to do it with him because he has to be where his doctors are. So with that being said, I still think he would love to be able to go camping outside of here and go when we travel. It would save us money so we don't have to pay for that big old hotel and that expense right there. So yeah. So for anybody that wants to know, is my 2013 Chevy Express van for sale? The answer is no. I would not be selling my van at this time at all. I have plans for this van. This van has work to do. It has places to go. It has people to see. And I want to be able to begin to figure out what type of insulation needs to go back there that's not harmful. And if you have any suggestions about insulation that you would put back there, please leave it in the comment section. Yes, because I would really like to know what do you use to remodel these vans? What type of material do you use for the insulation? What type of material do you use for the walls? What would you put on the floor? From scratch, the way it is right now, from scratch, what would you put on the floor and how would you build it up from there? I mean, would you just put plain particle board on the floor, or would you put some 3/4 inch plyboard on the floor, or would you just put a rug on the floor, or how would you do it? I mean, it really has no insulation nowhere. It's a blank slate. So with that being said, please leave me a message. I think that's all I can say about my 2013 Chevy Express van. Other than I love it and I've had no problems with it. She drives good. I keep the oil changes when it's time to do the oil change. Yep, I don't have another one done for a while now, so it'll be time to get the oil change again soon. So after I get the oil change again, then they check all the fluids, top everything off, and I just go on down the road. So I am planning on putting new tires on it soon. So I haven't changed the tires. I think I think it's been about a good 10 years maybe. I've had the same tires because I wasn't driving it every single day because I had another vehicle, but then it broke down. So now I'm driving the van full time. So I will be eventually putting some brand new tires on it. I mean, the tires on it look good. Don't get me wrong. They're not bad or bald or anything of that nature. They just don't wear down to where I'm thinking it's about time to think about starting to prepare myself to get ready to get them off of here. And so, because when you get out there rolling, you want to make sure that you've made this your vehicle very well and you got nice new tires, brake checked, and all of that good stuff done before you get out there on the road so that you know that you'll be safe out there on the road. So that's my take on that with my 2013 Chevy Express van. And I am planning on figuring out what it takes to start getting it together in the back here so that I would be able to go on the road, and if I want to go to sleep in it, I can go to sleep in it. Because a lot of people say, well, why don't you just buy a camper? This will suffice the same size as a drive camper. I can turn this into a little home away from home, and I can do that probably a lot cheaper right now than buying a whole new vehicle. Because I would have to have a drive camper. Even if I bought a camper, it would have to be a drive camper because I'm not skilled at pulling anything. So I want to make sure that it would have to be something that I would get behind the wheel and drive. So if this one is already ready to go, other than the fact that it needs to be area built back there for sleep and for cooking and for lounging and to make it look like a tiny home away from home, then hey, sometimes you just got to be willing to put in that work. You got to be willing to put in that work to make sure that you get things done the way you want them to get done. And then I really think that if I put in the work myself, I really believe that I will appreciate what the outcome of this van will be, with some help from you guys about the insulation. What do I need to put on the walls? What do I need to put on the ceiling to insulate it? And to what would I put over the top of the insulation? I would love for you guys to help me do this project. Because once we get started, it's going to be, once we get started, I think it's going to be nice. I really believe it's going to be nice. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited about hearing what you guys got to say about it. And my 2013 Chevy van is really getting ready to go through a makeover. I really think it's time. Yeah, because if I'm going to get on the road in it, I'm going to be able to get on the road in it. And if so I get somewhere where I need to sleep, I can sleep in it. I can just be in the van and be away from home and be enjoying myself. And yeah, so that's what it is. So if you are doing van life, help a sister out with all that information. If you're thinking about doing van life, tell me about your adventures or what you plan to do how you plan to redo your van. I would love to see it, and I will be filming it as I begin to start to figure out the things to put in this van. So that's why your input is very important to me at this time, because I really do not know where to begin to set this van up. I'm starting to watch videos just now of van life, how they redo a van, how they prepare themselves for the road. And yeah, living off grid already is just such a joy to be able to go when you get ready. So with that being said, I want y'all to say I love you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much. If you like this kind of content, because my content is about a lot of things, it's about life. So if you like that type of content, please subscribe, like, comment, and subscribe. All right. Love y'all much. Bye-bye.